Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between, welcome to the very, very, very first Bowerstone Tavern gaming podcast episode. I am Harama, and I am joined by my wonderful favourite southern co-host, Project Old School. How are you doing, my good sir?
Very good. I'm glad to finally get started.
Yeah, it's been alright. We should probably mention, literally, we've been talking crap about the podcast for the past half an hour, and my computer decided to stop recording the entire thing. So we were talking absolute bollocks for ages, and just look over to the side to find that it's all non-existent. So here we are, doing it all again. And we're going to try and make it sound like that we've not already spoken about this shit. So, yeah. We have a few things to talk about this week. Namely, a rather epic game series that both myself and Project have played for many, many years. And I'm going to leave Project to lead us into it. Let's go.
Well, there's no better place to start than the inspiration behind the name of the podcast. So it's got to be Fable, isn't it?
Fable. Wonderful game.
Into the world of Albion.
It was, I sank far too many days, far too many weeks, far too many months into that game. And I didn't play too much of the first one. Most of my time went into the second one, which is when I discovered the series in general. But I enjoyed it. Absolutely. It solidified my love for fantasy-based stabbing goblins and stuff on a computer.
Very well put.
It was beautiful. So how long ago was it? When did it come out? What was it out for?
The very first one come out on the original Xbox in September 2004.
The original Xbox. What a piece of technology that was.
That was a game changer.
Yeah, I've still got it. It's right there.
Yeah, I need to get one. It's on my list.
Oh, definitely worth its money, even many, many years down the line. But yeah, Fable. It was, I sank far too much time into that game. Far too much time. Nothing in comparison to World of Warcraft, which I've since started playing. But enough to for questions to be asked about my work ethic, the priorities in paying bills and stuff like that. It was
adult, yeah.
It was extreme. It was extreme. So it's a fantasy game based in the world of Albion, and I predominantly spent my time playing Fable 2, which is set 500 years after Fable 1. But still in the same kind of era type thing.
Yes, a direct descendant of the character from the first game.
Beautiful.
A long descendant.
Yeah. Probably not the dodgy nephew that nobody likes. A little bit further down.
Oh, we've all got. Yeah, everyone's got a dodgy nephew or a dodgy uncle. Everyone's got one.
Yeah. I have a nephew and he's awesome, but I've probably got a dodgy uncle as well. So that even the books a little bit. Enough of that weird shit. Fable. Like I say, I've not played Fable 1 too much. What was that like? Was it expansive? Was it full of goodness?
At the time, it was something I'd never played before. Generally, my games were back then, first-person shooters, and early 2000s. That would have been about it. The old Medal of Honor games, the original Call of Duty games. So playing something like Fable for the first time was an eye opener.
Yeah,
it was almost like playing the first Legend of Zelda again. You're in this fantasy world, and you're just this kid that's just been given this monumental task.
Yeah. To save the world with a trusty wooden shield and a dagger, and there you go.
Exactly.
Go and get that bad guy over there. He's nicked off with your friend. Yeah, the standard Zelda stuff.
That's it.
Yeah.
On your he's the bad guy on your way.
Yeah. No. Like the Fable 2 is what I played more. The customization, they started twisting with the times as it moved on. In Fable 2, you could choose to be a male or a female character, which was probably welcomed by a lot of people. And how many blokes do you know that will have gone for a female character just so they could look at their ass while they were running around? And I know that happens for a fact because I'm
not one of them.
I've created female World of Warcraft characters for a very similar reason. I've been playing it for a long time. I've been human males, I've been Worgen male, and it's all furry and everything cool. Sometimes you need something a little bit nicer to look at while you're wandering around, picking up herbs for hours on end. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't question that.
No. But in Fable, I did choose a male character. And one of the main differences between the two, 1 and 2, was in Fable 2, you got a dog. You got a little companion that followed you around the world of Albion on your adventures. And you could teach him tricks, and he could fight with you, and he can also find treasure. And if I remember rightly, there's a little sparkle path that appears on the floor when you're doing your regular quest that tells you in the general direction where you need to go. Breadcrumbs, sparkly breadcrumbs, we'll call them. And every so often the dog would find some treasure nearby, and he would have a little...
That's the best way to put it,
yeah. But one of the best features that I thought of Fable was how the game changes as you're playing the game. So the main one was that your appearance would change depending on whether you were the righteous good guy or you were a prick. And if you were the good guy, you would be a normal human.
Bastard,
yeah. You'd be normal looking human, and the world would react accordingly towards you. But if you spent your day stabbing chickens as you were walking from quest to quest, you'd turn evil, and you would start sprouting horns, you'd grow scales, your eyes would change colour, you'd just basically turn into a demon, and then the whole world would react to you accordingly. But one thing I didn't know until I was researching for this episode is the dog will also mirror the player's choices. So if you were good, the dog would look good. It would have a golden coat and it would be lovely. If you were neutral, it would be a normal grey dog.
Nice
but if you were evil, it would turn into a black dog, and you'd be running around with the black dog with your horns and your scales and your burning red eyes, which is incredible. It's something. Were you good or evil? That's the question.
Generally, I was good, but when I went through phases of thinking, let's see what evil's saying.
Yeah.
And then you go around, you take the evil choices.
Yeah.
You're in it for yourself, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I was good. I tried my best to be good. But there was the odd occasion where I would be in one town and I'd travel to the next town, and on my way I would look at my character and I'd see that I'd started sprouting horns, and I was wondering what the fuck I've done in between leaving town and getting to where I was to sprout those horns. I'd either called someone a knobhead on the way past, or I'd accidentally kicked a chicken. But then I would scramble to do good things to make sure my horns disappeared again, so that I could be a good person, so I didn't have the entire town trying to kill me as soon as I entered. Always making sure that I'm good.
Was fun, though.
Yeah. There's all sorts of other shit you could do. You could get married. One of the main, probably tongue-in-cheek, based on our current climate, is you could actually get married to the same sex in the game. Now, if you can imagine that,
you could.
In certain areas of this world, you're a big burly bloke called
certain
John,
corners. Yeah.
and you marry Dave from down the road, oh my lord, the uproar would be insane. But they incorporate it into the
It would
game,
be.
so they, yeah, well done for doing that. Very, very happy with that.
Let's not forget you could get STDs as well.
Could you?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Wow.
Yeah. Just to
Oh.
add that extra layer.
Wow, you could literally walk around sticking your sausage in the wrong royal pantry and getting. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you.
I never got any, so I'm not sure if it was, it's like a debuff to your health or
Right.
your magic or
You'd have to go to a
or
doctor
what.
to take a potion or something to get rid of it.
I'd imagine something along those lines. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
But yeah.
I had no idea. That was insane. So good. So good.
Further reason to practice safe sex.
Well, so you could get married. You could have children in the game. You could divorce the person that you married, or they can divorce you. So if you didn't visit home enough while you were out adventuring and saving the world, the missus at home would get pissed off and divorce you, and you'd come back to an empty house, quite literally.
Like real life.
Yeah, just like real life, exactly. You could become widowed through the death of a partner. Well, let's go there. It's also possible for the player character's children to die through cot death or disease. Jesus fucking Christ. Wow, STDs and cot death.
Just a bit on the morbid side, that bit.
Yeah, insane.
They literally thought of everything.
If you played the game long enough and kept with your family long enough, the kid would grow up and become an adventurer, just like their dad, and run off and in search for fame and glory.
Just like Daddy, yeah.
And then there would be the odd quest where your child would be in danger, and you would have to go and rescue your own child. So, considering the time that this game was out, and all of these different things that can happen in the game, it is way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time.
Way ahead of the curve.
It was insane. You could also get a job. Yeah, you could be a bartender if you fancied pulling the Jaeger bombs or getting people pissed. So the first three involve correctly pressing the A button during certain times. So it's a bit like the quick timer event from Shenmue for the Dreamcast.
Yes,
So
all in the timing.
Pop up on the screen, press it at the right time, and you'll pour your pint. If you don't, then you'll drop your glass, and you'll get a big cheer of "Hey!" from all the drunk people.
Just like real life.
Which is the British thing, yeah. So the blacksmith, the woodcutter, and the bartender, that's your quick time events, but the assassin, the slaver, and the bounty hunter were all combat related. So pick up a quest, go out, kill a few things, come back, get some money.
Pretty much.
Just how we like it.
Nice and simple, yeah.
The merchant side of it, however, is to take advantage of the economies of each town that you're in. So you would buy materials low, go to the richest vendor, and sell it for profit. So, yeah, it's got an economy, economics, same-sex marriage, kids dying to cot death. This is perfect. The game is perfect in every way. It's thought of as much as possible for the time that it was out.
It has everything. It has absolutely everything.
It was absolutely nuts. Now, that moves on to Fable 3. Now, Fable 3 I didn't play too much, so what did you do in Fable 3? How did it compare?
Well, they took a bit of a different approach to Fable 3. It was the first two, you started off as effectively peasants. In Fable 3, you are basically royalty. Well, you are royalty.
Nice.
Your older brother is the current king. Bit of a tyrant, bit of an arsehole.
A prick, yeah.
And the first thing he does is basically chooses whether your girlfriend or boyfriend, depending on your partner, is killed, or a couple of protesters. So whatever you go with kind of sets the tone for your morality.
Okay.
From there, you basically vow to never, never let him forget. No, something along those lines. You make a vow,
Right.
and it basically turns into you start a revolution, overthrow the king, and become king yourself.
Ah,
It's a nice little change of pace.
nice.
A little bit on the boring side at times,
Right. Is
but still,
the choice that you make at the start, does that determine whether you're going to be good or evil at the beginning? Or is that something that changes dynamically as the game goes on?
it's one of those things. Like if you were to choose the protesters to be killed, the person who's your partner just disappears from the game, as far as I can remember. But if you choose them to die and the protesters, again, if I remember rightly, there were people that actually do remember it later on in the game.
Right.
So it's one of those. It's a morality choice that sticks.
Right. And it throws you straight in the deep end at the start of the game.
Pretty much,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I did.
What's the game without a twist right at the beginning?
I started Fable 3, started it. I didn't finish it. By that time, I'd already discovered World of Warcraft, so my attention was very much in Azeroth instead of Albion. So, I remember being a prince. I remember being in I don't know whether it was a castle or a manor or something at the start. And I got
Bowerstone Castle.
Yeah, and I got a quest. I spoke to someone in the garden, and then I went down to the docks to speak to someone in the docks or down by the beach or somewhere like that. And that's where I stopped playing. I think it was raid time or something. So, and I just never. I've still got it. It's right up there. I've still got the very same game on the very first console that I played it on back in the day. But I've just not picked it up. But I think I might have to now, just to see what it's like. Well, that's not going to happen now because Shadowlands is coming out within the next 4 weeks, and I'm going to be doing fuck all with that. So, but I will go back to it at some point.
Yeah.
If you were to choose a favourite between 1 to 3, which one would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would probably go with the second one.
Yeah, I'd agree because it's the only one that I've played.
It just seemed a little bit more complete.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
As good a reason as any.
Yeah. We've got we've got the future to look at as well, because now it's been confirmed that Fable 4 is on the way. Now, if we enjoyed Fable 2 as much as we did 10, 12 years ago, you can only imagine, with the customizations that they had at that time, just how big Fable 4 has the ability to be.
A lot of potential there.
Yeah. It could. It's got a different developer, a different studio making it now.
Yes, as Lionhead Studios no longer exists, it's being made by Playground Games, I believe. But I do believe they have some key staff from Lionhead Studios, so it should be along the same kind of lines as the previous games.
Nice.
Same kind of humor as well.
Right.
I'd imagine.
Nice. Can imagine that the whole world of possibilities going on with that one. Do you reckon it would stay in a story-driven third-person view of the previous games, or do you reckon it's going to be more sandbox, open world, with a hell of a lot more customizations available to you?
I would like story-driven, but I've always been a bit of a sucker for single-player story games, like Fable.
Right.
But the way things have gone on since those games, I can see it being a bit more of a open-world sandbox type.
Yeah. Yeah.
Similar to World of Warcraft, Fallout 76,
stuff
like that.
Yeah. Fallout is a game I've never played. Sorry to say. Post-apocalyptic, futuristic, end of the world. scraps things never really appealed to me. But yeah, I can see how it would the
It's an acquired taste.
the world of Albion would fit into that kind of genre. Your general questing, you're traveling around and getting better gear, getting better weapons. But I think the possibility of grouping up with other people, other heroes, other people, and downing a big boss in a cave somewhere outside of the land, and elite mobs out there that you had to group up to kill because they're just far too strong to kill you, to solo. Yeah, I reckon that would be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Like I said, there's a lot of potential, and if they do it right, it could be an amazing game.
Absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, information-wise, there seems to be very, very little actually out in the public at the moment. It's just guesswork at the moment, effectively.
Yeah.
We can only speculate for now.
Down. Yeah. All right. So, if you were to give, as a whole, including all three games, if you were to give it a score, a series score, shall we say, what would you give it?
See, the humor for me is big part of why I play it.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. It's that British comedy, British humor. You know, I would probably give it a solid 7.
Yeah. Yeah. I would base my score based on only playing the second one properly. So I'd probably give it an 8, because the only thing that I would change is when it came out. If it came out now, if Fable 2 came out now, and everything that had the possibilities, so I'd give it a high score based on what I spent months playing and the prospect of what Fable 4 is going to bring to the table. And
that's fair.
I just think, yeah, I'm definitely down for Fable 4. Definitely.
Definitely something to look forward to.
I just hope it comes out on the PC, because I have a PC. I don't have a PS5 and I don't have an Xbox One S, so let's hope.
I imagine it'd just be an Xbox and PC thing.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Was it exclusive to Xbox?
It was, yes.
Oh,
Microsoft.
Shit. Amazing. All right, so
one of the better exclusives on the Xbox.
Amazing. Right. But I didn't know that, so there we go. That's probably why I was playing it, because I've been an Xbox boy for a very long time. Right. Is there anything else on Fable?
No, I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah. Right. So, we'll move on to the next section of the podcast, which is Industry Idiot of the Week. So, there's a few, but we have to whittle it down somehow. I've chosen this week's Industry Idiot of the Week. Next week, Project has the glory of scrolling through Twitter to find the biggest tosser of the week. But this week, it is World of Warcraft based. As you know, in World of Warcraft, there's all sorts of different classes and races and God knows what. And obviously, with it being a massive game, there are some massive guilds in there. They do the race to world first to see who can get the latest tier of raid boss down on the highest difficulty the fastest. And it is a multi-million-dollar industry, just that world first race. It's insane. It's streamed on Twitch. It's streamed by each guild. The two main guilds, like the last one for the most recent race bout, was Nazoth, and the two guilds that were at it, the two main guilds that were at it, were Method, which don't exist anymore because, well, they do, but they had some sexual abuse claims, allegations against them, and all sorts of other crap.
Yeah.
And Limit were the other guild. And for Nazoth, Limit won. They beat Method by quite a big way. By a long time. Now, despite Limit being the top guild of that patch, they've got a knobhead in that team. And this knobhead goes by the name of Preheat. Now, Preheat, as in what you see on the side of a packet of shepherd's pie. He was a fire mage. He still is, a fire mage for the Limit Guild. Now, it turns out that there is another Preheat. Now, the second Preheat spells his name Preheet, whereas the Limit Preheat is spelled like proper, Preheat. Right. So, Preheat, the Limit Preheat, right, we'll call him Limit Preheat and Preheat 2. Right. Limit Preheat has issued Preheat 2 with a cease and desist for his name. Right. Now,
obvious reason.
This goes back. Now, Preheat 2, he began posting World of Warcraft content on YouTube in 2013. So 7 and a bit years ago. And Limit Preheat had only began posting WoW related content not even a year ago. So there became a time recently that Preheat 2 was getting harassed by streamers or viewers on Twitch and messages in his private messages to him saying that he was the fake Preheat and he's trying to imitate the original Preheat and this, that and the other. So, in February of 2018, Preheat 2 messaged Limit Preheat to say, look, I just want to dispel any rumours. I'm not trying to imitate you. I'm not trying to steal any of your content or anything like that. It's just not happening, right? Preheat responded to him saying, yeah, I get that. I just don't, I feel something. Every time I see your name somewhere, I just feel something inside. But that was kind of the end of it. There's nothing really going on. But it continued to Limit Preheat. Whenever he was live streaming, he would then be bad-mouthing Preheat 2 live on stream. Like, to his viewers and videos and all that kind of crap. The guild master of Limit, who's called Maximum, he was live streaming and he pulled up Preheat 2's YouTube channel and told his viewers to unsubscribe from exactly from his channel because Limit Preheat is the only person in the world that's allowed to be called fucking Preheat. So I think Birdseye and Findus and all these people that make food that you microwave are going to have to start worrying now because they're going to get a cease and desist letter from the lawyer of this absolute fucking weapon because he has the same sounding name as him. I wouldn't mind, like, for example, my name, it's something that I made up from two different things and put them together. I would call that original. There is, I have been made aware since that there is a Japanese manga or anime detective called Hirama, but that's with one eye. There is a detective Hirama, and I have been accused by some weapon, no one important, that I ripped my name from a Japanese cartoon that I have never watched. I've not watched. The closest to anime or manga I've watched is Pokemon.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
And
about my experience as well.
it's just not my thing. But preheat is clearly not original. It's in the dictionary, for example.
Yeah.
But because there's another fire mage also called preheat but spelled differently, I'm gonna sue you. You're not allowed to. I mean, what a fucking weapon.
Yeah, definitely.
So it gets even better than this. So limit preheat then went live on stream, and he was in World of Warcraft, and he was logging in all the different servers and reserving, because basically if you go into a server and create a character and put a name in, nobody else can have that name. You only allow one name, obviously, on a server.
Yeah.
Limit Preheat went on and created a load of characters called Preheat with 2 E's on other servers, so that the other guy couldn't create a character called Preheat on his server. So the date of the cease and desist indicated that he reached out and asked Preheat 2 to change his name on February the 5th, 2018, which is the same date that he reached out to Preheat Limit to say, I am not impersonating you. What Preheat Limit had done, he had edited the message, because it was a Discord message. He edited the message at the end of it to say, please change your name, nearly 2 years later. And he said that in the cease and desist that he asked him years ago to change his name, but he actually just edited it to include that in the cease and desist. So it's actually fabricated and forged a cease and desist to apply for his trademark and change the story to fit his narrative. So his trademark for Preheat, the way that he'd written it, was granted on September the 8th this year. 10 days later, he received a letter saying that he's got the cease and desist. So that is this week's Industry Idiot of the Week. What an absolute fucking weapon. What level of ego do you need to be just because you're in a top high-end raiding guild in World of Warcraft and you've been on Twitch, that no one else is allowed to use that name in any spelling variant at all, honestly.
That's crazy. It's a justified winner this week.
I mean, do you reckon that you're I don't think I'm the only Harama out there. But at the same time, I'm not going to go and message you people and go, oi, I want you to change your name because I want that name and no one else is allowed to have it in this world.
Yeah, exactly.
And as for Project Old School, that has a possibility of being used somewhere else. So what you need to do now is blow your own ego up and message them, trademark that name and go, oi, you're not allowed to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I might have to vote for myself for Bell End of the Week next week then.
Yeah, so what a fucking weapon. I swear to God.
Definitely.
I swear to God. So that finishes this week's Idiot of the Week. We'll be sure to find another one next week. And who knows, it might be me. It depends if I start sending out solicitors' letters to people.
It could be either of us by next week.
Indeed. Right, now we move on to your section. Now, what is it you would like to talk about?
You mean your section? The Shadowlands.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
It is me. Yeah. Right. That's a good way of doing it. I've only got the list in the running order right here, and I'm just not fucking reading it properly. What a tool. Right. So, obviously, I play World of Warcraft. I play World of Warcraft too much.
Define too much.
Every fucking day, into the early hours of the morning. If I'm not at work, I'm probably playing it, and if I'm not podcasting, I'm probably playing it. In fact, there's a few times where I'm watching you stream and I'm playing that as well. So I have the sound off, and there's nothing quite like floating around Azeroth, killing orcs and bosses and dragons to the sound of your dulcet tones, swearing at flappy bastards on Silent Hill.
Don't forget the Nightmare Gnomes.
And the Nightmare Gnomes, exactly that.
They were key to getting me to Twitch affiliate.
Yeah, that helped. It absolutely did help. Shadowlands, the 8th WoW expansion, has finally been announced within a release date. Originally, it was supposed to come out on the 27th of October, just gone. But obviously, due to COVID and the whole world going to shit, and a lot of Blizzard staff not working at the offices and having to work from home, it slowed it down big time, and there was an awful lot of beta testing, alpha testing, there was all sorts of things wrong with it. And Blizzard eventually listened to the community and said, look, delay it, because if you release this in 2 weeks' time, the whole world is going to go to shit even more. So,
something we cannot afford at the moment.
Exactly. They delayed it, and it's now coming out on the 23rd of November. Now, to say I'm excited is, it's not a big enough word. I've been around. I started playing World of Warcraft when Cataclysm came out, which is very late in the career of World of Warcraft. How do you know when someone played World of Warcraft vanilla? Don't worry, they'll fucking tell you. So, Shadowlands is you are venturing to the afterlife of the World of Warcraft universe. There's a lot of bad people there. There's a lot of bad guys, and you're going to go there and stomp the living shit out of them, which I'm looking forward to. The pre-patch came out. Now, before World of Warcraft comes out, they bring an awful lot of changes, whether it's a new class or whether it's a new race or whether all the classes they get changes, some revamps and stuff like that. So the way you've played your paladin, for example, for the past 3-4 years, will change overnight in Shadowlands. So what they do is they give you a chance to get used to it. So they release a pre-patch, normally 4 to 6 weeks before the expansion is released, with all the changes so that you can get used to playing it, and so when Shadowlands comes, you kind of know what you're doing to an extent.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Good logical decision.
Indeed. So it generally comes out in stages. Now, Shadowlands pre-patch is going to come out in 3 stages. At the moment, it's still on stage 1, which is all the changes that are happening, new customization options in the barbershop. You can change your hair, you can give yourself a scowl on your face now, and you can even change the sex of your character, which used to be a paid. Once you've created your character, you choose male or female at the beginning, and if you wanted to change sex, you had to pay for a character change, an appearance change, which was I think £9. I think.
Ooh,
yeah.
Steep.
But now it's free. So that male night elf hunter that you've been sat on for years on end, wishing it was a lass, you can now change it to a girl for free in the barbershop. So you can imagine going
£9.
I would say, you know what it's like when you go to a barbershop and ask for a short back and sides, but for you it won't. Exactly. Imagine going in there and coming out Kelsey. That's what you can do now. That's what Shadowlands is bringing us.
And I'll save £9.
And you save £9. Exactly. Exactly. Shadowlands, the whole world leaves Azeroth, which is the world that we're on, and we venture into the Shadowlands. The veil between the two worlds is being shattered wide open by Sylvanas, who is a prick. She's now working for the Jailer. Jailer's a big bad guy. Sylvanas is also a bad girl. Yeah, she's a prick. She caused an awful lot of shit, burnt down a big tree, and now she's working for the Jailer. And we're all going to go and stop her. So we go to the Lich King, who just had his ass stomped by Sylvanas. The Lich King is in control of the undead and the scourge of the world. So now there's no Lich King, there's no one controlling them, so they're running amok. So part 2 of the pre-patch is the zombie invasion. Every major city in the world of Azeroth will become overrun by zombies and undead and the scourge, and they will run around killing everything in sight, including yourself. So you can fight them, you get overrun, you get killed. You then have a choice to come back as a zombie and join in the killing and kill other players and NPCs and God knows what. Or you can keep coming back to life and keep getting killed. That's the best that we can see, I think, at the moment. I've not spent too much time on the beta of the free patch, so this is going by what I've read. And then part 3, I think there's a quest line in Icecrown, which is where the Lich King is and where the veil is being shattered open. And then part 3, all of the old bosses that you killed in Wrath of the Lich King 4 expansions ago all come back to life. And you get to kill them all again as real bosses. So Patchwork, who is a big multi-armed, stomach open with guts hanging out of it with one eye, he's coming back and you get to stomp him again.
Bit of a throwback.
Yeah. But it looks like my next door neighbour, to be honest. But it's good. It's good. And I'm extremely excited for it. So there's not really much I can say right now because I'm not playing it yet. So, but I do have a 4-day stream penciled in on the day. So it's released on the 23rd of November, which is a Monday. So in the EU, it releases at 11 o'clock. It goes live in game at 11 o'clock at night. So if it's anything like the previous expansions, everyone will be logged in, standing around storming, doing fuck all, waiting for that quest to pop up so we can accept it and go flying to Icecrown to venture into the Shadowlands. And I'll be doing that live on Facebook Gaming. My link is in the description below of YouTube and also Spotify and all your other crap that you're listening to us on. So go down there and check that out. 4 days in a row. So the first night I'll be online at 9 o'clock, ready for 11 o'clock for that patch to hit, and I will probably still be awake at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning regretting my life choices. And then every subsequent day after that. Exactly. But to make it a little bit more interesting, on the Wednesday of my 4-day slog, the missus is going to come and create a character for the very first time on World of Warcraft and see, well, we can see how that goes. That's going to be very interesting indeed. Never played it before, ever. So
it will be interesting.
All right, there you go. There's a PC. There's a game. See ya. Have fun.
Yep.
We'll see how that goes. So, to be honest, whenever she's on stream, the views go through the fucking roof. So,
Super Mario Saturdays, yeah.
Super Mario Saturdays is where it all belongs. Yeah. So now I do believe it is your turn. Now, something you want to talk about.
I thought it was the original Fabled trilogy, wasn't it?
Oh, did we manage to crap all that into one?
I think we've done it backwards.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh well, I think that's a good way of starting it. Let's do the whole thing backwards. Let's fail to record it, and just generally suck at this whole podcasting thing.
It's not been too bad.
Yeah, it could have been much worse. And I didn't say the C word. Do you know how difficult it is for me to not say the C word in general conversation?
I've known you long enough to know it's used frequently.
I use it like please and thank you.
Instead of please and thank you, or as often as please and thank you.
Exactly. As well as thank you. You know how it goes. Yeah. So, that concludes our very, very, very first episode. If you have enjoyed it, more for you. But if you have, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click on the bell to be notified. Every Thursday, this will be scheduled to go live around midday on Thursday, every Thursday. If you're listening to the podcast instead of watching on YouTube, you can catch it on Spotify, Apple Music, Audible, and all the other places. You can even ask Alexa Can you believe that? I was blown away when I saw that. Apparently, you can shout at Alexa and say, Bowerstone Tavern Gaming Podcast, and she'll put us on for you. Wow.
I need to check that out.
Yeah.
That is the first thing I am doing on Thursday.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I've got. Is Alexa Google? I can't remember. I know Siri's.
Amazon, isn't it?
Oh, is that Amazon? Right. That'll explain why it was under.
No.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know. I know you get it on the Amazon Echo. I think it looks like a hockey puck.
Right, because we've got one that says where we shout "Okay, Google" at it. Is that the same thing? Well, either way, shout at something, shout the name of the podcast, and you might get to listen to us.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Project streams on Facebook Gaming. Just search for Project Old School, or go to the link in the description. It'll take you straight to his page, so you can follow, like, and he will regale you with retro goodness, including Flappy Bastards and Nightmare Gnomes from Silent Hill.
Yeah, we rename all the creatures from all the games.
Absolutely.
That's my appeal.
It's old school, and it's your project.
It is old school.
I see what you did there. Yeah. I also stream on Facebook Gaming, mostly World of Warcraft. Sometimes I'll do some graphic design, sometimes I'll do some music. My link is in the description below, as well as our Twitter for the podcast, and each of our accounts is all down there. And if you want to go a little bit further, we've got an OnlyFans. No, sorry, we've got a Patreon.
Same thing.
Yeah, the link to that is also in the description below. So we've got some cool stuff on there. We're gonna have some shirts. It's gonna evolve. The podcast is gonna evolve. There's gonna be all sorts of competitions, but more importantly, we're gonna be here every Thursday to talk absolute fucking bollocks for around the 45-minute to an hour mark. So
until we run out of shit to talk about.
Well, I'll never run out. That's the thing. I could never run out of talking bollocks. But I don't think 24-hour podcasts are welcome in today's society.
No.
Not yet. We could change it.
It could be a niche in the market.
Exactly. Well, we're going to try that. Join us next week for a 24-hour podcast. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Not yet.
No,
so,
not yet.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week by the fireside.